Okay, I just took a video and the phone quit right in the middle of it. So this is my this is my '54 Chevy two-door sedan, and I have a lot of great memories with this car. You know how that is if you have a car that you've had for 10 or 15 years or even more. You do a lot of fun things and you make a lot of great memories, right? And man, I drove this car everywhere. It was my only runner for years. Drove it year-round in the winter with no heat. And sometimes the wipers didn't work. Anyway, yeah, it's not running right now, so I'm using it as a tool holder. I got a flat tire, and I need to take the battery cables off and put some new ones on. But what a great car. I'm doing some work on the seats, and they're just all done. I just need to put them back in. I just took them down to the springs, cleaned them all up, and fixed some springs, and then built up the seats again. I was really fortunate to get some really nice pinstriping on this car years ago by Mad Mike Young, and he just did a brilliant job on this thing. And I intend to take this deck lid off at some point and put it in the house because it shouldn't be sitting outside. I mean, look at this artwork. The guy is such a genius. Mad Mike Young here in Colorado. I don't know if he's still doing striping. You know how it is. These guys get so good and they're so legendary, and then all of a sudden you don't see them for a while. I haven't seen him lately. If anybody knows where Mad Mike Young is, sure would like to hear from him. But anyway, this video is actually not about the Fairlane. It's about this, you gotta love this tree growing by my cars. It's about this Fairlane, not about the Chevy, I mean. A few videos back, if you look at last summer, we had a blowout in this Fairlane, going about 70 miles an hour. And it was pretty vicious. Took out my trunk, and some of the tire was stuck inside my hood, or inside my trunk area. And anyway, we store this car. I store it for the winter, and then in the spring I always try to get it going. And after sitting for a while, you never know what kind of things you're going to have. And so I put a primer in here, and I'm sure you guys know, but if you can use a little nozzle on your primer bottle and just put the gas right in there and right in there, it'll go right into your float bowl. I'm sure you guys know that, but just to reiterate for those that don't, you can fill up your float bowl with gas and then just put a little bit in here and then close that butterfly so you get a good choke on it. And well, I tell you, 90% of the time that's how I get stuff started, even after it dies on the road or something, if you have a vapor lock. And that's my favorite trick. And of course, when I started it up, you're going to have issues, and every couple of years these accelerator pumps start leaking on me. And I guess there's something or other below it too that I don't have to replace very often under here, but I do have to replace this accelerator pump here all the time, at least every 2 years. And I have a little notebook that I write everything down, and I remember I just read that in 2020 I replaced it with this one, and this thing is still pliable. I mean, there's not anything wrong with this thing, right? But it's leaking already in just 2 years because of all the ethanol and all the additives and the gasoline now just chews this stuff up. So I think that's what does it anyway. So yeah, just 2 years later, here it is, 2022, and I had to replace that accelerator pump last night. It was leaking from there pretty good, and then the fuel line was leaking. I had just a solid fuel line right here, and so I had to replace it, and I decided to go ahead and put a filter in here. Now I know what you're thinking. It's not the safest idea to put a fuel filter right there, right next to where you get your spark. And I would agree. It's just the design of the car. So I'm thinking about, at some point, I may elongate this fuel line over to here and then run it in from there so it's a little farther away from the distributor cap. But for now, I did put that in there, and I put a filter in there. I like to be able to see your gas. Now I know that means gas is going to be sitting here, and I think that means that I could have a better chance of vapor locking. So I do realize that we'll have to see what happens, and if it gives me a lot of vapor lock, I'll probably just go back to a solid line, or even screw in the rest of the metal line, or use this metal line right into the carb, and maybe get rid of this filter, since I have a couple other inline filters. I've got one back by the tank underneath the car, and then I've got a fuel filter coming into this on this line, which I just took off also to replace. So anyway, the old fuel line was just a straight hose right there, And then I did have my main filter down here. So here's the old filter from down here, from down this area. Here's the old fuel line that I just decided to take out. It's been in there for a few years now. And this is how it went. I had it under there like that, going right to the fuel pump. And I didn't like the placement because I couldn't see this fuel filter when it's underneath the power steering pump. Just couldn't see it. So I decided to switch them around, and I built a new one. I built a new one that is short on this side and long on that side, instead of long on this side and short on that side, because the fuel filter was underneath the power steering pump. So this time I'm going to put it on there like that, and I'll be able to see the filter better, and if I ever need to look under there and see if it's getting gas. Now I prefer to have these clear inline filters. I had some guys in Oklahoma tell me last week they don't like to use them because they come apart, and well, okay, well, I've had good luck with them. And once in a while they get bent or something, but I've had real good luck with them, and I like to have a clear one so I can see about vapor locking. I just have a manual fuel pump on this thing, and so I want to be aware of any vapor locking and be able to see what's going on if I'm stranded, see if I'm getting fuel. To me, that's the best way of knowing if you're getting fuel. So anyway, so I just wanted to show that real quick. Just a real basic repair. Took me quite a while because I had these terrible hose clamps. These are American made ones, and I double clamped this one. But boy, if you use those, I hate to say it, but if you use the foreign made hose clamps, especially the ones that say made in China from Harbor Freight or something, they just don't work. I mean, here's a little case of them right here, and everything I spent on these was just a waste of money because you can't even tighten these down. They just strip out right away, just total junk. So I had to go off of another car that I have sitting around, a 56 Buick, and pull the clamps off of there. And so then here, like I said, this is the old one, and then I just reversed it and built the new one so the filter will be closer to the fender well, and I'll be able to see it better. So that's our little basic repair for today. We're going to take this car out and drive it to my daughter's graduation tomorrow, and have my mom in there and have the whole car full of people. And that's my favorite stuff, is to get people in the car and drive it and enjoy it. So I got to hurry up and get done and then get in here and clean this up a little bit. And I've had some animals in here over the winter that looks like they tore my seat, so I'll have to fix that and get some stuff cleaned up here and get this car out tonight. So anyway, yeah, that's the deal here on the 66 Fairlane Convertible. And if you want to see the blowout that we had on the highway, scroll back a few videos, and it was last summer. And good thing I didn't get hurt, because when I was changing the flat on that, the bumper jack fell forward, and I'm just super blessed that I didn't get squashed underneath this bad boy, because those things are deadly. All right, so that's it for this video, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you don't mind, and subscribe. Oh yeah, I should tell you that, as far as that accelerator pump goes, here's the little packages that I found that are real cheap, if it's helpful. See if I can get that in focus. These are real inexpensive, and those accelerator pumps come in this little guy. It used to be just $2. I'm sure with the inflation rate, they're probably double that now, or $5. But all right, well, give me a thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. I'm having a little trouble logging into my account, so I might not be able to post this right away. But God bless America, and God bless Hot Rod American Convertible Fords.